Hey, Blue Rockers, how are you? Connie Willis here. Welcome to Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. Tonight, Crypto Connie is in the house. I think I even have my little name over here. Nope, that's Stan. So that's our guest. Where's my little Crypto Connie name? Nope. There you go. Connie Willis, alias Crypto Connie. So tonight here on Blue Rock Talk, as we get updates from Stan Larimer, the godfather of bitshares, we also have Little Penny in the house. So you might hear Little Penny barking. Mom's in the other room catching up on Oak Island and seeing what's going on if they finally found the treasure tonight. My guess is they might have found something else just enough to get us back next week. Just saying, unless it's the end of the season. Anyway, that's what's going on right now. I want to say hey to everybody. Thanks for supporting me. Some of you guys have been supporting me in crypto. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. There are other ways to do it, which most of you guys know as Patreon, and also the other one is fan funding or something here on YouTube. Don't do that. Don't do any of those. They take percentage. I prefer you going to Crypto Connie and doing something on my BitShares wallet. That's a whole lot nicer. So thank you very much for that. I hope everybody's doing good tonight and you are ready to ask Stan some questions because that's what we're going to do. I hope everybody is cool and they can hear me as well. I'm waiting to see if there's any problems with that right now. So let's take a look into the chat room. I love the chat room. It's really cool. You guys are good with that too. You all know that when you ask a question, you put it into caps. Or if you have some sort of comment that you want me to say to Stan or myself, that's all good to go. So I was told at one point that my trademark were my glasses. No, I had glasses and contacts as a kid all my life. I played baseball on a guys team for 8 years and had those glasses with bifocals. So let me tell you, that's how good I was. I could still play even with bifocals as a kid because I read so much. So my eyes were just horrible. I mean, I was the kid with the flashlight at like 6 years old reading about, Yeti and stuff like that. It's true. Anything I could find, I read. So at one point I got LASIK, and for a good, forever, I could see like Superman. I'm telling you, it was 2010. It was great. It was great. And then all of a sudden it started changing a little bit. So I've been wearing my glasses, but right now I got my contacts in. So anyway, I still have to use readers. So you're going to see me like that anyway. But I'm just I don't want that to be my trademark, even though you'll see these if you see me out to dinner or like this. But I tell you what. Contacts kill me now. It was so nice for a while. All right, so let's see what's going on. Speaking of, let's see what's going on in the live chat. All right, everybody's cool. All right, I heard he has no Bitcoin. Okay, this message is held for reviews. Somebody said something bad here. All righty. Okay, all right. We're good to go. I think you guys can hear me. I'm going to see just for myself. See what's going on. Yay! All righty, let's go. All right, let's bring on the man that you guys all know as Stan the Man and the godfather of bitshares. There's some other names, but we're not going to tell him because he's live and he can hear us right now. No, we're just kidding. We're just kidding, Stan. There's hello, Stan. Let me put you in this other way. Hold on here. Wait a minute. I want me on my side because I got my name over here. So welcome, Stan, to Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis, Crypto Connie tonight. How are you?
Pretty good there, Connie. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like I haven't talked to you in a while because we haven't been on in a while, but I know you have some updates and some things to talk about that include bitshares and Bitcoin and Quint and wherever you're headed. So I'm looking forward to that. But those people that are new here, Blue Rockers, this is Crypto Connie. This is our playlist called Crypto Connie. It's all crypto stuff. So for those new people, not just Steemians, though, by the way, that listen to you all the time and watch for your articles, but new Blue Rockers along the way that are like, what, the Sam Hill? Who is Stan Larimer? Can you tell everybody who you are and what your background is?
Yeah, sure. I spent most of my career, 36 years or so, developing unmanned air, ground, sea, and space drones. That'd be Mars rovers and airplanes that come out of guns and stuff like that. So I had a lot of that kind of stuff, and I've even built unmanned parking lots. So I'm not proud, but lately I do unmanned companies. I got called out of retirement to help my son Dan Larimer with his first project, bitshares. And when he moved on to STEEM, I stayed with bitshares to sort of make sure everybody in the world knew use it. And then he's gone on to EOS now, and I'm continuing to work to make sure that bitshares is the best it can be.
And I think you have done that for sure. In fact, let's go ahead and just start talking about bitshares, because let's see, I think when I first got in it, I might have bought them at 11 cents or 14 cents. And then, let me fix your little name here. Got to fix Stan's name on there, everybody. Hold on. Don't mess it up, the man's name there. Okay, then it went all the way up to 92. 92. Mm-hmm. It was like, holy cow, this is great. It's back down to 22, I think, right now. So tell me, how do you get it back up there? What do you do when it falls like that? Do you know what it is? Does Bitcoin lead everything? Or, tell me about that. Because we all went back up to 92.
Yeah, so do I. Well, there's a speculative component that's due to people buying and selling, and quite frankly, that's whatever the next new shiny object is out there. People will jump onto that. One of the bad things about the cryptocurrency world is it encourages very short time attitude. It used to be when you bought something, you'd hold it based on the fact that you expected it to be a long-term good value. But nowadays, hey, you just jumped by a factor of 20. Oh, that's cool. What have you done for me lately? And you go find something else to jump by a factor of 20. And so people are constantly jumping out of things that have done well into things that haven't done well, hoping to keep, ratcheting up their value. So I kind of ignore all that because there's nothing you can do about it anyway. And what I like to do is go find businesses to build on top of bitshares, because that will bring in new users, and those users will learn about everything else we do. Some of the things that we have, like the Hero, for example, use bitshares to back them. And so the more people that use those type of products, the more bitshares are needed. And so anything I can do to get people into the ecosystem and start using it. And ideally, getting people to start saving in bitshares. If everybody does that, then it's good, because it puts buying pressure on bitshares, and we all benefit. So I try to find new users and bring them into the bitshares universe. And sometimes you do that different ways, by a new interesting product, or by announcing that you're going to make some cool upgrade to it or whatever. So you keep trying to make the ball move forward.
Speaking of cool upgrades, are you able to even talk about it? Because you have kind of talked about a neat bitshares 3.0. What can you say about that? Is that the upgrade you're talking about? At that point, if you do that, it's going to flood. So that's why people need to buy them now. It's going to flood. Am I wrong on that?
Well, I can't give advice or anything like that on what you should spend money on. But what we do want to do is make sure bitshares stays number one. It's the number one coin factory out there in terms of total utilization in the system, or in the industry, and we want that to stay that way. It's the fastest public blockchain out there, up there with STEEM, of course, and other things Dan's doing. He's going to be coming out with EOS in the summer, and a lot of people worry, well, gee, will that mean that bitshares won't be number one anymore? No, it'll still be number one because of the things that we're doing. I can't tell you exactly how that'll go. I'm assembling a team of several big players that will be pooling their engineering development resources and figuring out what's the right thing to do. That thing can occur in sort of three different chains. The group is considering modifications that they would offer to the bitshares community. Of course, bitshares community would have to vote for that if they were going to accept any of those updates. Then there's what we would get from EOS, and EOS has the ability to either build on other people's chains or launch one of your own based on EOS. And then there can be a middle chain that allows you to make changes that are different from EOS or bitshares but help them both. And so I don't know how much of each of those three chains we'll wind up using. It might all fit in the middle chain. Might all be offered mods to bitshares. Might all be an upgrade to EOS. I think it'll be a mix, but it's way too early to say what that will be. But I will say that there's a number of really good players that are coming together to pool their resources to make that happen. And I guess we're having another meeting on that tomorrow.
Oh, yay! I can't wait for that. That's exciting. It's exciting that there's something new. I know there's got to be a ton of people out there that have no real goals that they're reaching for. You guys have a plan of attack, not just with the blockchain itself, but bringing the businesses on. So let's talk about some of those right now. How is Bitcoin Latina doing so far?
Well, it gets more exciting every day. Now, one of the things I had hoped to do is to talk to John Gotts before this show and find out a refresher on what I'm allowed to talk about and what I'm not allowed to talk about. And we played phone tag all day, and so I didn't get the memo.
He's a blue rocker. He may see this and jump in or something like that. He should have got a notification.
Yeah, but he's always uncovering new deals, new improvements, and I've often said that he could pivot faster than Michael Jordan on a fast break. So he when he runs into a speed bump, he just pivots around it and keeps on running.
Well, he's like over $1 or something. I mean,
well, there's been a lot of different factors in there that have to do with the role of miners and when they decide to sell, and different people who have different attitudes of things. John does his best to let people know the good stuff is coming, but like all of us, we can't make those promises until we've got it in the can, right. Because if it slips, then it has big negative consequences, as people say. You told us on such a day.
Don't jinx it, man.
That's one of the hard lessons we all have to learn, is to never, ever, ever promise something in advance. But on the other hand, you don't want people to think that's all there is. You're excited. And in particular, John has so many really cool connections in the industry, and he's getting more all the time, that will really reflect well on what he's able to do. And, I'll just have to wait until the time comes when that becomes general knowledge. But, I get to see behind the scenes, and since I haven't been briefed on what has been announced and what hasn't been announced, I kind of have to sort of tell you, I can't tell you anything, Connie. Why are we having this show tonight?
Yeah, all right. See you. Bye, everybody. Well, maybe he'll text you something at one point or something like that. But if that's the case, great. And if whenever he brings it to you, that's what we do, is breaking news here with you all the time. So we'll do something like that. So
I will say one thing.
Sure.
I can say one thing because I think he's let this slip.
Okay.
He is one of the teams that I was talking about that's going to be contributing to the upgrade path of bitshares.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
All right. So he's got visions of what that means, and we're working with him and others to figure out what that should be. So, like I say, it's a team effort, and all of that energy is going to amount to something.
That's with the bitshares 3.0.
Yeah, he's interested in working with us to do the migration path to whatever grand unification mix of those chains turns out to be.
Well, yeah, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. It is so smart to do that. Again, I can't give advice either, but get this stuff now, folks. Get it now while it's low. It's a blessing right now for that, believe it or not. What about Quint? How's that going for you?
Oh, that's going great too. I mean, it's up and running. I guess the exciting thing about that is we're going to introduce what we call white labeled QuintS. where other big organizations can come along and take the Quint and basically put a new name on the front of it, and even offer their own custom 1 ounce gold or silver coin backing it that has, their own unique brand associated. And so that started out as an idea for just one project, but now it's like, wow, this is something a lot of people like and want to do. I actually think new trend for 2008, people will stop, or not stop, but some will switch from the idea of launching a plain, ordinary, unbacked coin that starts at zero and takes years to grow in value and probably never does grow in value. And instead of that, they issue their coins building on top of a concrete metal-backed coin that can then have some growth on top of it that may be associated with their own brand and at very least a profit margin. So by promoting a coin that's got real tangible redeemable value and doing it with their own brand, they get something special. And we'll be probably announcing several of those that, are jaw-dropping if they all happen. And then that will set the trend. Other people will probably want to do that same thing.
Man, talk about being a teaser. Holy moly. Jeez. Holy. Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, there is one thing we can definitely talk about for sure is we haven't figured it out yet technically, but you're going to do a series on your college Sunday school class on Sundays, and you're going to do a series here on Blue Rock Talk.
Yeah, that's going to be something. I did talk to my Sunday school class and said, you guys mind if cryptoconnie watches in with a few of her closest friends?
Blue Rockers, baby. Yeah.
And no, they all like the idea. So, okay, we'll get it set up. And I think the lesson series will be called Things We Know That Just Ain't So.
Ooh, that's good. Things we know that just ain't so. Boy, that's a big playlist. All you'll see on Google is like things you know, things you, things yo. Okay, all right, so that's cool. So for those of you out there that are just joining us, you're watching Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. This is Crypto Connie, Stan Larimer, the godfather of bitshares. And what we plan to do is we're going to make another playlist. And that playlist is Stan's number one thing in the world is he teaches like this college level Sunday school class. He has slides and everything, and we got to make sure we get this done technically. He's gonna be doing a series once in a while for us, or special things, and lets people scream and yell for more, and then we'll see what Stan does at that point. So I think that's going to be fun, Stan.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Right, I am. So I think you got stuck. I think you're stuck. I think you're frozen. Good old Skype froze you. Good old Skype froze you. I'm going to hang up on you. I think he hung up. Oh, there you are. There you are. Here. You go. See, all right.
Just like Scotty, I can't give you no more power, Connie.
It's so funny what happens with all these different pieces of software. And now that I'm so into so many people with STEEMit and bitshares and just, like Bitcoin Latino, all these guys, all geeks. I need one of y'all to play with my computer stuff at one point, my little SEOs and things like that. We'll have to get Pat Konchak to help me out. I bet he's over here on the live chat. So do you want to say anything else before we take some questions from people?
Well, I'll just mention another little thing that happens today. My life is full of excitement.
Absolutely.
Michael Taggart managed to get invited to a meeting of bigwigs, about 15 big players, big names you'd recognize, banks and big companies that provide stuff for banks. And apparently they have this like once a month. They go around and get together in a room and just, talk a little bit about some topic about what are they doing with the blockchain. And so, we got to be a little fly on the wall and listen to some of the things they're talking about doing. It was fascinating, as, they all talked about the the challenges they have. And, they were asking each other estimates of when do you think this is going to go mainstream and stuff like that. And, that was interesting because they, like big elephants do, don't consider moving fast. They were talking about, well, could be 5 or 10 years before we get to it. And the moderator was saying, 5 or 10 years? That's forever in crypto space. Why do you say that? He says, well, it takes a long time. You got to get your suppliers to do the same thing you're doing. You got to interface with it, and there's the requirements definition and functional analysis, and then we got to come up with a spec. We got to get all that kind of stuff. Thinking about big stuff, and then asking questions like, will Western Union, what do Western Union have to do in order to move on the blockchain? When will we see them do that? The Western Union wasn't there, but so they talked about them. But it was interesting to look at their centralized view of how things. Every one of them had the attitude, we are going to deliver this to the public, and we are going to be making these changes. And how long will it take us to bring about this change? Because all initiation of action has to come from the big guys down to the rest of us. And then the little fly on the wall got to talk. We were actually invited to speak, and Michael did most of the talking. He did a brilliant job, but I threw in a couple comments at one point, but he was doing so good I didn't want to interrupt him. But he basically gave them the inside-out story. He said, these are all the different things we can do, and of course he pointed out to them our credentials of doing 2/3 of the world's public transactions, as opposed to the non-public transactions that, all those banks were doing. By public, I mean running without central control, and most of their solutions are centralized around their own private blockchains, which, of course, I didn't want to hurt their feelings by telling them, guys, there's no point in doing something on the blockchain if you're going to centralize it all under your control. The purpose of the blockchain is so there is no central control. But we didn't go there. But Michael did run down through all the different things that were happening in our ecosystem, and then I jumped in to answer the question of how long would it take for the industry to get changed over, and I told them it's just the opposite. You guys are thinking about radiating change outward from yourselves, and that's not what's going to happen. It's going to come rushing at you like a tidal wave. Think of yourselves as giant oak trees standing in the middle of a lake that's getting colder and colder. And at some point you see a few patches of ice start to form on the lake, and then all of a sudden, boom, it freezes all over. It's going to happen as all the decentralized applications out there suddenly turn on and start talking to each other, and they're not waiting for you to build out anything. In fact, don't want you to build anything. I actually told them that.
Good for you.
When we got the last 15 minutes. It was 15 minutes overtime with mostly Michael talking. So we didn't get a chance to get much feedback. But Michael did such a good job that I think everybody was sitting there in stunned silence saying, what just happened? So that was another kind of thing that reflects the variety of things that might happen in my life on any given day.
We got to get Michael in as a threesome here. That will be great. That'll be great. I have not got to do that yet, and I love it when he's in the chat room and he answers things with people, and I like when he upvotes me on Steam Edge and everything like that too. It's neat. I know he's like your are you guys partners, equal partners, or what?
Well, I'm CEO. He's president of Cryptonomics.
Cryptonomics. Okay. All right.
We work like good partners.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just like I do with this little one here. She had to come up or she was going to bark the whole time. So let her say hello and her little appearance and cameo.
Okay.
Say hello. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. There you go. Everybody see little Penny, right? Okay, now she's going to go sit around. There's so many lights in her eyes. It's so funny. Okay, all right, say goodbye, Penny. Bye, Penny. Okay, there you go. There you go. How do you like that when she comes in and makes an appearance, huh?
Oh, man, that's just too mushy for me.
She's so cute. I taught her just.
Okay, that's really all my news right now. You know, it's just.
Well, you got a little more.
Oh, I do?
Where are you going this weekend?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. The Conscious Media Festival down in Austin. Yeah. So I'll be going down there. Friday, I'll spend some time doing some other business meetings that happen to be in that town. And then there's a group of really interesting people that are probably outside the normal exposure. I get to see a lot of colorful characters that are in there talking about conscious media, and they're basically teachers and people who deal with media, but they want to do things in a enlightened sort of way.
Sounds like Blue Rockers to me.
Well, it could be.
That's right.
And so we got invited to do that. Gazelle Coy was the person who interviewed us back last fall, and we promised in the interview we'd show up at her festival in the spring. So Michael and I will be there. We'll be there with Morgan, who's from Quint, and a whole bunch of our friends from different places are converging on there. So it'll be like a family reunion for bitshares mixed in among all these other people with very diverse backgrounds. And if you look on their website and see how they're dressed, there's everything from hippies to rednecks mixed in. It's unbelievable. But anyhow, looking forward to meeting all those people. And you know, Michael and I have an hour on stage to tell about what the digital currency revolution means to their particular worldview.
Well, make sure you talk about Blue Rock Talk, that they can come here and see you guys on here. But also, I'd love for you to do a live call-in from there, you know, break in and let us know what's going on. Would you do that for us?
I'll sure try. You're going to do a little test with me to see if I can't get Skype onto my cell phone working. But when I do, I'll be walking around. This is your Action News reporter on the scene.
Okay. With all the geeks there, I am sure you'll be able, and all the public, you know, it's all media stuff. I'm sure somebody will have some form of communication to get you.
You know what's going to be really cool? Most of these folks in normal life walk into a party, and they're the people that stand out because they're very glamorous or unusually dressed or flamboyant, whatever you want to say. Now, what happens when you put a bunch of flamboyant people all at one cocktail party? How do you stand out? Well, you show up in your farmer's overalls, right?
Oh, are you going to?
No, but I will look pretty plain compared to the rest of them.
No, you should do it. You should do it. That'll be awesome. They'll be like, oh, that's Stan Larimer over there. That's the one who'll cut with the overalls. Oh, that's right. He's the overall guy. He's the farmer dude. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. So how about some questions?
I'm ready.
Let's get into it here. So Blue Rockers out there in the live chat, if you have a question or a comment that you want Stan to see or myself, put it in capitalization, okay? That's the only way I'm going to see it. It's not easy to see. It's not easy to see at all. So that's what I need for you guys to do. So let me pop it out here, see if I can see it any better. There's a way to pop it out and see it. Anyway, let's, here it is, pop out chat. Whoa. Oh, it didn't make it that much bigger at all. Oh, thanks, YouTube. All righty. YouTube now has something called Top Chat and Live Chat, where you can only get pieces of things. I want all of it. Why would I want top, you know? And who determines what top is, right, Stan? Who determines what the top chat is? They don't know. All right, so I'm going to go to the top. Oh, there's a lot of people in here. Wow, isn't that nice? They're all here. See Stanley. All right, let's see here. Let's start by smashing the likes. Well, thank you. That's right. While you're here, please hit like. Please hit like. I appreciate that. Jonathan Hodkins is here. What's up, farm? All right. Tina Nichols, hey there. Johnny Boy. Who's Johnny Boy? Who's Johnny Boy? We've got Daniel Petrino in here. Robert, hello. Real Estate PMS. I like all these names. Johnny Hoggo. DJ, hello. That dude's awesome. Anonymity. Okay, I heard he's okay, they're having a conversation here. Let's go. Let me pass by the conversation. Supergirl classes. All right. Hello, Stan from Income Mobile. How is everybody? Walmart Loyalty QuintS.
Well, why not? Everywhere I go, it used to be, and this just changed in the past month, but everywhere I go, it used to be, we want our own coin. We want it to do just like Bitcoin. We want to print them for free and use them and have them go up in value and get rich. And now I come in and say, well, you could do that, but that market's pretty crowded. Or you could brand a metal back thing and go out there and sell it as an affinity coin. And it's all legal tender that's been carefully crafted to be regulatory compliant. And your worries are over about releasing a coin that you can get most of the benefit that you would have had with your other coin, other than the spectacular growth, which probably wasn't going to happen anyway.
Sorry, I was checking the questions here. You guys, you have to put it into capital letters, or I'm not going to be able to see it. I'm straining here to see it. It's just so tiny. KFC ID is asking, is it possible for one Bitcoin Latina to equal 100 USD? Not
sure.
Yet. One day.
Yeah, I'm not making any forward-looking prognostications, but Bitcoin Latina is better than in every way than all the other Bitcoin forks. Okay, so if it's better than every way, and all those other forks are worth a lot more than that, then the only thing that could hold it back is stupidity of the masses.
Well, that could happen.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, come on, we're people.
I mean, you'll have to watch what John does and what he says and what he's bringing to the table and who he's bringing to the table, and then make up your own mind.
Okay, let's see here. Pat wants to know, is your Dallas speech recording out yet?
I haven't checked recently. It wasn't out the last time I looked, although I have a copy. As far as having it put up.
We can put it up here. Can we put it up here on Blue Rock?
Well, I have to read what it says about it. It's probably the same thing your coast-to-coast rules are. You got to go to their site.
Okay, well, we'll give them credits and all that stuff, too.
But if you go to the Bitcoin Super Conference site, they said it'd be up there. All the speeches would be there sooner or later.
Oh, I got you. Oh, okay. Yeah. Probably won't be able to get that.
No, they make some extra money by selling recordings, so sure. I'm sure that's what they do.
Okay. In the future, talk to them and say, look, okay, but we're also putting this on Blue Rock. We got to put it there. Let's see. Amazon Loyalty QuintS.
Okay, that works. Yeah. Okay, let's be clear about this, okay? When it's a Quint, it's backed with real money. Each Quint's, worth, depending on the type, between $1.70 or $2 for 1,000 for an ounce. So there's real stuff behind it. You just can't give them away. So if you're going to do frequent flyer miles, you can give them away like candy. But if it's got metal backing, then when you give it away, it means something. But you will see these things given away as prize money. A lot of the game companies out there that are looking for something that is worth competing for. What's better to compete for than a gold-backed coin instead of, something more ethereal?
Oh, it's so cool. I mean, when people are kind enough to support Blue Rock Talk and crypto in the BitShares wallet, they could actually also give me Quint, couldn't they? They could contribute Quint.
Oh, yeah. And if people are giving Quint, you want them.
I know, they're great. And the Quint, QuintS, IQuintS, and the QuintX are all out.
Yeah, and the QuintX is, the one that's a security. So, it's got extra requirements in terms of how it's handled, but the other things are, pretty straight up, currencies. They're designed to be legal tender.
And what does the security part of that mean? Is that like Hero?
No, Hero is not a security either. It's just backed with a different type of asset, but it's backed by an asset that's bitshares on the blockchain instead of backed by gold. There's some advantages to that because if it's backed by bitshares, it's going to be independent of anybody else. Where here you still have to depend on the awesome reputation of the United Precious Metals Association and Quintix. But that's still a slight. A meteor could crash into the depository, bury all the gold deep under the ground, or something.
But you know what? That would actually be okay because a meteorite can be a whole lot more than gold.
Well, yeah, we're backed by a big chunk of iridium or whatever.
That would be awesome. Meteorite coins. That's next.
All right.
Because you don't know where they're. Those are they can be worth a ton of money. They're out of this world. They literally are out of this world. You know what? That's a good idea. Meteorite.
Out of this world. Thank you very much.
What was that?
I'd like to keep all those asteroids and meteors out of this world as long as possible.
That was a good answer. That's true. Okay, let's see here. Zach wanted to make a nice comment that 2018 is going to be a phenomenal year for BitShares, EOS, and Bitcoin Latina.
Yes, and those fates are inextricably connected in ways that you don't know yet.
I know, because you keep teasing us with it. We're dying to know. Yes. Ask Stan if he ever listens to Dr. Chuck Meisler.
No, I don't think I've ever had the pleasure.
Dr. Chuck Meisler. Okay. People are saying hello. Just to Stan, hello. We need more BitShare use applications.
Well, that's all I do. I mean, every single one of the things, and I've mentioned I've got about a dozen things going on, and 11 out of 12 are applications of BitShares, and one is upgrades to BitShares. So, yeah. Is
that the companies coming on? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah. Okay. Each of those, I've talked about a few.
Okay, close those deals.
Yeah.
Get some other ones too. I know about a couple of them. I can't wait. Come on.
Yeah. I'm pedaling as hard as I can.
Keep the glasses off. If I could see, I would. Trust me. Hi, Connie and Stan. Rick Templeton. Thanks to those of you that have joined. Okay. Oh, oops. Ask him about Topia Coin and his board position. How will it interface on BitShares in 2019?
Well, that is true. Okay, so Topia Coin is a really exciting project that has to do with securing data using military technology. Okay, and so working with them to get their coin out there, and it'll work like any other coin. The value is not so much in the technology behind the coin. The value is in what it represents as a new product and a new set of capabilities that will probably, I guess the one little tidbit I can give you there is, you notice how when I said there was a team forming to upgrade BitShares, Topia is putting one of those engineers into that mix as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, we got a little bit out of that one, so that's good.
It took a while before it percolated up to my head, but I had a real nice meeting with the CEO of Topia, who flew the whole way to Roanoke to meet me earlier, or last Thursday or so. So got a chance to compare notes, and do the things I do, which is make connections and help companies integrate into the system. And of course, one of the things that they like to do is, well, what can I do to become more of a part of the bitshares community? And that was when I said, well, you've got a nice engineering team. If one of them wants to join our bitshares upgrade strategy,
right.
We'd love to have you if you've got somebody that really understands the stuff enough to contribute. And she said, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll do that. So, that's something that we're building a team, and once again, it's a decentralized team. It's very important that this doesn't turn into just one company dictating stuff. And we got to be mindful of do no harm to any of the coins that we're doing stuff for. Sure that they grow in value and the whole ecosystem grows in value, and that we don't do anything that would rock the boat as far as the safety of everybody's investments throughout the industry. And then of course, if you're operating on an existing chain like bitshares, you can't do anything without the community's permission. And that's why we like the middle chain, because that's something that doesn't belong to anybody yet, so we can do anything we want there.
When you say community, who is that you're asking? Who's the community that gets to vote?
Well, the bitshares community are the ones who determine whether any new software upgrades get incorporated into bitshares. And of course, there's the Bitcoin Latina community that'll have a say in however they evolve. And of course, the EOS universe is kind of interesting. It's got some ground rules, but also a lot of flexibility in terms of wanting to spawn a lot of different coins that are independent. So depending on how that's done, we could have a lot of control over a version of EOS that would be put into this mix. Then EOS is designed to interact among many chains. So we could have one of our own. That's one of the possible options, in which case now we get to play with some pretty powerful tools.
Yeah.
And it excites me. It's almost as good as building a Mars rover.
That is pretty cool. Wow. Did you hear when you were doing those types of when you were working with the Mars rover, did you ever get to hear of any of the neat stories behind the scenes once it landed, and anything that happened that maybe we, the normal people, didn't get to hear about?
Well, yeah, I'd say there's lots of those examples. So one that to me was the most heartbreaking was, I think, Viking 2, which was one of the early landers. It didn't move around. It just goes plunk and landed, and had a little shovel that it could reach out a few feet and everything. And it had a little antenna that it would point at Earth, which is just a little blue dot up in the sky, a little blue rock. And and it, of course, when it was pointed at the Earth, it could hear, but if it was pointed away from the Earth, it couldn't hear anything. And they'd send commands up to it with little programs, that someone would work out the next day. Okay, I want it to scoop. How do I command to tell the arm to scoop, or the camera to pivot, or whatever the experiments were? And someone loaded in a bunch of commands, and there was a bug in there that told the antenna to point someplace other than Earth. Excuse me, that's the end of the mission, because you can't tell it to point back. And so that's how the Viking 2 mission ended, with someone going, oops. Everybody who was hired for that project lost their jobs at that point, that same day, because there's nothing else to control. It was dead. And that's one of the heartbreaking stories. There's lots of stories like that of people putting in metric instead of English units into the calculations on how long the rocket engine ought to burn. And, if you put in meters versus yards.
That wasn't an American that did that, though, because we don't think that way. Metric? What? No. No, stay away.
NASA does everything in metric.
They do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so that made a nice.
Who was the knucklehead?
What? that one created a nice little crater on the south pole of Mars. It was moving at the wrong speed due to that little oops.
That's terrible. Oh my gosh. So that was that was an American that made the mistake then, because somebody that just joined in the group or something, because I cannot think in metrics. I just can't do it. Okay, well,
I'm reminded of that commercial. Want to get away? Because that engineer certainly wanted to get away after.
Oh, that's good stuff. We'll have to have a night where that's all we talk about. That's excellent. All the behind the scenes. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Jaffe. When will we be able to get into bitshares via Quint?
Well, I guess technically it's feasible now. I mean, you got the QuintS, and people just have to put things up for sale on the Quint versus bitshares exchange. And the only thing we have to wait for is enough liquidity to build, enough people wanting to buy and sell that it becomes an interesting market. Bitshares and the Quint are going to be very popular. So if that hasn't been set up yet, I'm pretty sure someone will. Not very hard to do. You go there and put something up for sale in that particular empty thing, and hope others will join. Next thing you know, a market. The other more interesting question is, when will you be able to buy QuintS with bitshares? Okay, and of course, in that market, you could still do that. If someone puts a Quint up for sale, you could buy it with bitshares. Right. But off of the Quintric exchange, the guys that are giving us block trades are putting a block trades engine inside of the Quintric website, so that you can, once that engine is installed, use all of the things that block trades will accept in order to spit out QuintS.
Oh, okay. So, that's cool.
That's coming soon.
Okay, I like block trades. I like doing that off of STEEM. That's who you're talking about, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that because, you can just, I like it. They make it so easy to take STEEM and turn it into bitshares or whatever. But I'm hoping that one day in the future, maybe that block trades, you can take your STEEM and from block trades put it right to your bank. Is that coming?
Well, I won't comment on what they do or don't have planned, but Dan Otstein certainly is a guy who's got big visions and real skills, and he's another person working on Super BitShares 3.0.
Oh, yay! You got to hook me up with him. I'll interview him. I'd love to.
Okay, I'll recommend that to him.
Okay, yeah. Excellent. Put that. That would be great. And I guess my question is maybe the same one that was just asked. That okay, you buy Quint, you go to the vault there and buy a Quint. Does it go into the BitShares wallet, or does it stay in a vault with Quint?
Well, it's intended to go right into your BitShares wallet. Now, I have to go look at it and see if we're talking about having an option for people to just put it into the account right there at Quintric until such time as you got around to getting a wallet, so that if you wanted to come in, you could sign up, buy things, have it go into your account, and take delivery of either the gold or the Quint when you're ready. But haven't looked to see if that's actually implemented yet.
It's just as easy, and it's probably just as important to go ahead and get the wallet. Just go ahead and get the wallet. You guys want everybody to get the wallet anyway, so get the wallet. Yeah. Quick goes right.
I do recommend that because, as long as it's stored, at the Quintric headquarters, it's kind of like storing it on an exchange. Yeah. Right? Never recommend you store stuff on an exchange, but some people, for whatever reason, don't want to learn about the wallet, and they would just like to come in and take a baby step. I don't know, when you bought your Quint, did you get your Quint?
Yeah, well, when I accidentally bought my Quint, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, you know what it did? It went right to the wallet.
Yeah.
Right, which the wallet and the wallet, then you just hit exchange, so it's not on the exchange, but it's in my wallet, right? But I can hit the exchange from my site there. Yeah. It's so confusing. At one point, I'm going to put it on screen share, and we'll have you just point to everything. Can you do that sometime?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. That's a good thing to do.
Okay, yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, there is Quint in there. So then you're right. It's already in there once you buy it, and then you can go ahead and start trading at that point if you want.
Yeah. So I'd invite somebody who's got a Quint and got a bit share to go and put one for sale and one to buy somewhere on that thing, and you've created the market, and now other people may come in there and join you.
Have to ask Farmer D how to do that at Telegram.
Good idea.
He's the man for sure, telling people how to do things. I tell you what, I mean, it is a learning curve, folks. And if you don't know how to do it, check down in the description below. We have a couple of links down there to help you figure it out. And what is Telegram exactly? I mean, it's so cool. I love it. And if you're not in the crypto world, or you're not in, geek world, I guess, it is something very new. How can you describe Telegram?
It's just a different kind of chat. Works like texting somebody, except everybody can text into the same thing, and they just scrolls up, and you can paste pictures and links and stuff like that. And so it's just a running conversation of everybody in the community, sorted into different topic areas.
And it's cool, because they got one for bitshares and cloud and Bitcoin Latina. All the different telegrams have it, and that's where you can go and get help and say, how do I do this? I'm stuck.
Called Wallet Help, and if you go to that one, I think your link down below has got probably a link to that Wallet Help thing that Farmer D runs.
Yeah, I love it. He's very good as well. Let's see. Okay, we answered that one. So they wanted to know, and I think you already mentioned this, but that was your involvement with the Topia coin. I like that. It's backed by military?
Well, not by the military, but they have a long track record of technology, and so they're wanting to bring that into the, they're leaving Ethereum and going to BitShares. That's one good thing.
Yay!
There's examples. When they came to talk about that, I says, you need to jump in to the whole combined BitShares 3.0, for lack of a better name. Other people want to call it BitEOS, or what, I don't know what it'll wind up being, but the upgrade that we want to do, I said, get involved in that, because your technology is bigger than just an exchange.
Yeah.
You have the ability to transmit and store data securely in very powerful ways, and that's going to be useful throughout the entire EOS system.
Yeah.
So that's why one of the reasons I suggested they join the team, so that they can sort of see how their technology fits into that mix, and then get it in the right place, because I'd like to see it available for everybody to use in all the different applications that get built on ES and BitShares, and of course, Bitcoin Latina will be in that mix. So it's, we'll all figure out just what the new architecture should look like.
That's cool. Jamie Spademan. Oh, I can't read these things. Question for Stan: how can you view your transaction history on BitShares going back 6 months?
Well, that's a problem, and I really have been looking for somebody to provide that available. I believe there is a block explorer out there that does that, but it escapes my ancient brain as to what it is. But go into the Telegram we're just talking about and ask people where that is. The technical answer is get your own full node, because then everything is stored. The problem is that light nodes don't keep all the information going back that long. That's why they're light. And so what you have in your light wallet that you download is something that is designed to not use up your whole computer. But if you have a full node, like the kind the BitShares witnesses use to sign blocks, you can have one of those, even if it's not elected to sign blocks, and it keeps the whole blockchain, and therefore you can go back and get it all. But that's something that's really needed around tax time, right? You want to be able to get the entire year's worth of events, and that's something that I don't think anybody has made a nice turnkey product for that. But I think there may be one block explorer that does a better job of that.
Yeah, I thought that everything was saved and you can go anywhere at any time to get everything. So you're saying that it doesn't go back?
Well, on the blockchain, if it's a full node, it's got the full blockchain. if it's a light node, like you have on your computer, your wallet, laptop, whatever, it's light because it's had some of the blockchain is not, it doesn't bother to store. It just stores recent stuff. And that's a compromise or a trade between not wanting to use up your whole computer. But if you want that and you have a big enough computer, you could download a full node and then you could have everything there at your disposal.
So that's if you get the app. Like I think you say you have downloaded the app of it for the wallet.
Yeah.
But you can also go up and get it in some internet cloudy way kind of thing or something, and could you get it then?
Yeah, you can talk to a full node on the internet, but I don't think anyone's built that tool to give you the complete dump for the year.
Oh.
Boy, that's somebody out there should do that, because I really think right about this time of year, tax time's coming, and a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, how do I get all this data? Oh no, I'm screwed. And if somebody had one of those things available, they could sell one for probably $20 to every user out there.
Right.
So I'm surprised it hasn't emerged as a tool. Someone could make a little bit of money on that.
Well, I'm thinking right now in my head, I'm thinking about STEEM it, and down below your wall, there's every transaction every second and microsecond. Are you saying that also doesn't go all the way down?
I don't know. In the case of STEEMit, I publish on STEEMit, but I don't track it technically, okay. So I'm not sure what they have.
Okay. Wow. Well, tax, it's not even a big deal tax-wise until after you pull it out and make it money, correct? I mean, if you're, changing around all the time, it doesn't really matter tax-wise until you claim it, right? And pull it out as U.S. dollars.
Well, last year it was ambiguous about that. This year I think they changed the law with the new tax bill to make it explicit that it's not a like-kind interaction. And therefore, you probably now, this year for sure, and maybe in past years, we've always treated it that every transaction is something that we have to track and watch the value change in every transaction, because we have to play it super safe. Being public figures, you can't make any simplifying assumptions for yourself. But I think what I heard, and I can't give tax advice and so on, but I believe this year you're going to have to keep track of every transaction. And that's, by the way, one of the benefits of the Quint, because you'll understand how huge that is. Go to the quinttrick.com website and read about the tax treatment that's enabled by having a legal tender coin that's nice and stable and therefore not treated as a capital gain every time you spend one.
So you got to have over $600 though worth?
I thought it was $400, but
sticking on the same subject, I have my American Express or I have my Visa. At the end I get something in the year summary. Is that something that you guys will do in the future?
Oh,
come on.
The answer.
Y'all can do anything.
I'm waiting for those. I like to leave little easy things like that for entrepreneurs to do. All those guys that got a technical itch and a little entrepreneurial streak. This is your chance. Yeah. Don't wait for somebody like me to come along and do it. Now, we do have our Hyperion Hub product, which is designed to help companies and individuals all come in and learn to use cryptocurrencies. And as we build towards that, I do plan inside that to have outstanding help associated with customer support and tools to make it easier to do your taxes and everything else to make it go mainstream. But that's a grand vision as we earn money by selling QuintS. After we do that, we'll at some point have those type of tools available.
Okay, because people.
In the meantime, it's an opening for somebody.
Okay, because that alone right there, I mean, people will, just having that, people will just flock to you and go, okay, it's going to be so much easier because bitshares takes care of me there. Okay, let's see here. So good question, Jamie. You led us into a lot there. Explain Bitcoin token usage, creative applications.
Well, I don't talk about Bitcoin.
Right.
If you want to say bitshares token usage, they're usable for all kinds of things. The tokens themselves aren't technically different, at least the ones that are user-issued assets. There's smart coins that, track the value of dollars or euros or whatever. And there's asset-backed coins, which somebody's making the promise to redeem the token for something. And then there's the counterparty-free tokens that are put out there, and they're not backed by anything, but maybe they're good for something, and therefore, because they're scarce, maybe they'll increase in value. And there's tokens that can be used like poker chips for casinos, except that you can use them for Chuck E. Cheese tickets to go play in some kind of an arcade. You can use them for gift certificates. The list of things that you might do with a token is literally endless. Frequent flyer miles would be another example. And, of course, nowadays there's a little bit of confusion as to how the government is going to treat these things. Some of them make the draconian statement, everything's a security, even if it's a Chuck E. Cheese coupon, even if a high school student releases it as part of a class project to learn how to use tokens. It's a security because we said so. Okay? Then there's other people that are a little more reasonable that have a Howey test and are seriously looking at what it does take in order to be classified as one thing or another. And, a lot of ebb and flow between different points of view there. We'll have to see how it shakes out.
All right. Got a lot of questions for you. You're watching Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. It's Crypto Connie tonight, along with Stan Larimer, the godfather of bitshares, and we are taking his questions with you guys in the live chat. If you have a question, put it in caps. Put it all in caps so I can find it. And we have a lot of them, Stan, so just so you'll know, so I'll get them to you a little quicker here. Do you think, KFC ID, please make Bitcoin Latina top 5 in CoinCap market.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. All right, quick and easy like that. Bruno, do you think Regulation D filings will popular in crypto? Apparently, BCL's on it.
Yeah, BCL is going to do one of those itself. The company, not the coin. The coin will not need it because it won't be a security, but they're going to raise some money, to fund their efforts to advance that coin, and they're going to go through it by the book, and it'll wind up with using the mechanisms that are available for what amounts to a form of crowdfunding.
Oh, okay, that's what that means. All right. Will Stan, this is from Income Mobile, will Stan appear simultaneously with Fuzzy on Blue Rock? Okay, I still haven't met Fuzzy yet, so got to meet Fuzzy first,
I'm willing to do it, but I'm reluctant because Fuzzy has such a mellow voice, deep baritone, fuzzy voice, So he's going to put me to shame, but I would certainly be honored to be beside him if you want to do that.
Okay, so he's got a deep voice, Darth Vader kind of thing?
No, this is mellow. This is melodious.
Very White.
Yeah, that's like that.
Okay. I still got to meet him. Yeah, I still got to meet him. I have not even looked into that. I apologize. Of the top 10 cryptos by market cap, how many are not compliant by SEC rules, in your opinion?
Half of them.
I love these quick answers. They're awesome. I love it. EOS blockchain is more faster than the Ethereum blockchain. Question. How fast is it, and when will it release?
Well, early summer, and I've heard that they've demonstrated millions of transactions, but I haven't tracked it on a day-to-day basis, so I couldn't give you the up-to-the-minute results. But it's designed to be massively parallel and have event rates or block rates that are getting into the sub-second category. But, there's probably some asterisks on that I'm not aware of. So, I can't say anything definitive there. Just, little tidbits that come across my, I know what the original intent was, is to get down to sub-second transactions and effectively unlimited scalability by massive parallelization. But, there may be things that have come up in the development where they've made other changes to that. I will learn a lot more about that when I meet with the team tomorrow that's figuring out what happens next.
Cool,
but
cool.
We'll see.
Well, bitshares alone, the bitshares blockchain alone is faster than Ethereum's, right?
Far faster.
Yeah.
And Ethereum is a half a minute to a minute, and we're always less than 3 seconds. So, we get that knocked down to another few seconds when it goes to EOS. But there are things that we can do with the technology if we say let's merge the two together and not try to do everything EOS is doing, but use some of its technology to speed up bitshares, where we might actually be faster than EOS in that limited domain.
That's excellent. It's amazing what your son has put together.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed, I must say, but don't tell him that.
Okay, won't do it. I'm serious. I mean, it's absolutely amazing that he's been able to put that stuff together. That's just so, bitshares, STEEM it, EOS, and what that's going to do all together, and the fact that the speed is there. If I were Bitcoin, I would run over to you and say, look, we're losing money because we don't have as many transactions. Can we be on the bitshares blockchain and then join you with bitshares 3.0?
Well, that's what Bitcoin Latina did. It said,
yeah, that's right.
We're not constrained by any preconceived idea of the fact that you have to have mining. Now, they do have mining for a while, but the long-term system is going to be running on this new network that I've been talking about, BitEOS, for lack of a better name. And so, it will blow all the other Bitcoins out of the water. And if they want to stay back in the Paleozoic era doing mining, because the people making the decision about how to upgrade the software insist there's got to be mining, then they're going to forever be lagging behind.
Yeah.
And they had a chance to change in 2014 when Dan gave his keynote address to the Inside Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas and told them that this was going to happen. And this year we told them it had happened because 2/3 of all transactions don't use mining these days. And yet most of that Inside Bitcoin or the Bitcoin Super Conference was talking about all the latest, greatest mining hardware and stuff like that. So I used the little expression, I feel like Henry Ford at a buggy whip convention. And that's pretty much what it was like.
Well, according to Sean Worthington of the Cloud Coin, he said when he was in Acapulco, Anarchapulco?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're getting good at that.
Yeah, thank you. He had said that people were leaving, people working with the Bitcoin were leaving and looking elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody was talking about Bitcoin. He said they were talking about you.
Boy, that's a mistake.
Isn't that cool? Oh, that's so cool. I think it's great. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get back to this. Okay. How can you view your transaction history on BitShares going back? Oh, I already asked that one, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think what happened is they keeps moving, so they do that. What's the acronym for Quint? It's just Quint, isn't it?
Yeah, we went to talk to the people at UPMA, and they'd been wanting to do a digital currency. They'd been working real hard on their precious metal business, and we waltzed in there, told them about the capability of the BitShares network, and said, why don't we join forces and make this thing real? And it was just a marriage made in heaven. It's been really great how it's been going, but Larry, the guy that runs the depository out there, said, well, we were going to call it the Quint. Is that okay? And so we said, yeah. So that Quint will become a household word. I have no idea what it possibly motivated them to do it. I'll probably ask him since you asked me, but I'd like to know myself.
I think it's just cool the way it is. I like that. So let's see here. I think we answered this one. Is Quint available on bitshares now? Yeah. Are there any requirements to be able to see it? Yeah, you gotta buy it first through quintric.com, right? And then it goes on there, correct? You can't buy it from the exchange.
Well, if somebody else has bought it and puts it up for sale and you're whitelisted to be allowed to own it because you've already registered with them, then yeah, you can do it. Right now we're being very conservative in requiring people to do KYC AML, even though it's just a plain ordinary currency. But while we're introducing it, we're doing it as conservatively as we can. Okay. And hopefully, as we continue to work with the legal bodies out there, we'll get those able to be relaxed to where people can have them with less stringent requirements. But certainly during this initial phase, if you want them, you have to get whitelisted in order to be able to hold them. Okay,
so go to quintric.com to get them.
And fill out the KYC AML that they have there, and then you can hold them.
And the KYC AML is, for those that have just joined us,
know your customer, anti-money laundering. It's government rules that require people who are dealing with certain kinds of assets to know their customer and be able to tell who did what.
They're going to know where the stuff is. Excuse me. What became of the guys in Texas who got raided? Oh, Jared. Ask about Arise Bank and Jared.
Yeah, they're going through. He's got an awesome lawyer, and that lawyer is doing a good job of defending him. I hear little tidbits of it from time to time. My sense is it's going well. If I understand correctly, they withdrew a lot of the charges because they were false, and dropped those from their list. But it's still progressing through the channels, and we'll just sort of have to watch and see what happens.
Excellent. I wonder if he can talk here on Blue Rock himself at one point. He should wait, or what?
At some point he might. Right now, he doesn't want to make anybody angry, so he's keeping his mouth shut.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, wish him the best from us for sure. Let's see here. Follow up. There's no Quint. Oh, okay. So Jesse Jaffe says, follow up. There's no Quint. BTS trading pair. Only QuintX : BTX. BTS. QuintX BTS.
QuintS.
QuintX. X. The QuintX.
Huh. Okay. Well, someone will set one up sooner or later.
Quint, BTS trading pair, only Quint. Okay. Yeah. Well, I know that I've seen them all in there, like over on the exchange, over on the right side, that I've got all my little favorites to watch what's going on. All of those have come up, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But
it's like any new coin, it takes a little while till there's enough of them out there that it's worthwhile having a trading environment.
Okay. And if there's any technical questions like that, go down to the Telegram link that you see down below with the BitShares help, and they'll be able to tell you what's going on. Farmer D is great. I mean, he's just right there on it. It's amazing. And he'll get right back. He'll get back to you, too, after a while with all this information. And you're like, what? Will you do this for me, please? This is just too much. Let's see here. Rich Hanna. Also, how do you see EOS Finex and BitShare coexisting? EOS Finex? Finex? And tell us what that is for people like me.
Bitfinex made an announcement that they were going to adopt EOS in some sense. I don't know any more than that they have plans. EOS will definitely give people who are wise a chance to move in and do some things that heretofore only BitShares could do. So BitShares has one form of advantage in terms of the new kinds of coins and products that we're bringing to it and the community it has. And, Bitfinex has an advantage in terms of getting a lot of their existing customers and deep markets, they might be able to migrate. So game on.
Game on, game on. Pat Konchak just threw out Crypto Fresh Block Explorer.
Yeah, Crypto Fresh is a great block explorer. I don't think it goes back as to the beginning either.
Oh, I know what that is. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
It's a beautiful block explorer, but I think its node limits on how far back you can trace things to. Last time I tried it, I couldn't get a whole year out of it. But I think there was one that somebody posted that did work, and I went and tried it, and it seemed to work. And I think I even bookmarked it, but it didn't stick it in here, so I can't tell you.
You don't have any more room to stick anything in there. You got too many stick up little notes in there. Well, Jamie said something like it comes as a CSV file, but the data is not user friendly, and a sell versus buy is written the same. I think he's still talking about the same thing.
Yeah, the CSV file is what it dumps in, but is the CSV file complete, or does it only go back a few months? That's the question.
Okay.
But the CSV file you can load into Excel and get a nice little table.
That's
so
true.
Don't let the CSV scare you. It's just a format like XLS that things get dumped out in.
Scaring me about all this law tax stuff now. Killing me here. Killing me. All right. Okay. Is there a source we can go to learn more about BitShare token uses?
Well, yeah, Fabian Chua has a nice wiki chock full of that sort of stuff. And if it's not,
say that again.
It's a wiki. It's a whole set of documentation he put together that talks about all those different things. And I think there's a link for it somewhere on the website that you can go find, maybe down at the bottom on bitshares.org. If not, it'll probably magically appear down below in Connie's notes before long.
Yeah, exactly. I need to do that. Yeah, I'm thinking I got to put that down there. So is that where you can go and use the BitShare somewhere? Is that?
No, it's just a set of documentation that you can find out more than there's some information on bitshares.org. And then there's this other nice wiki, a set of documents and a nice organized list of topics that you can dig down in and get more information in that place.
And it tells you what other ways to use the token.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does it mean like you can go to Target with it or just?
Oh, no, it doesn't get into applications.
Oh.
It tells you all the things you can do to create a token and how to issue it and how to maintain it and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. All right. Is there a place that lets you know who takes BitShares? I've been told that there are people that actually take BitShares for books or different things. Is there anything like that? That would be tough, huh?
Not one that I know of, but that doesn't mean there isn't one. I just don't have any idea.
That would be neat to put on the website somewhere where if you take BitShares, let us know and put it here in this catalog.
That would be a real good idea, yeah.
Yeah. And then that thing would grow really quickly at that point. That's a good idea. I like that. Post it. CryptoConnie's idea.
Somebody could start a STEEM article, right? Saying, put a comment below here if you take BitShares.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
People put comments in like that. That'd be one way to do it. Or use any of the Telegram channel for that purpose or whatever.
Yeah, it'll grow that much quicker and faster. I mean, holy cow. If I knew right now that I could go get a pizza or something using or whatever, I guess pizza and Bitcoin always go together. So BitShares got to, maybe attached to White Castles or something. I don't know. But if I knew that, I could go ahead.
You don't want people spending BitShares. We want them keeping it in their wallet.
Oh, we do?
Watching it grow every night.
Oh, okay. Okay, but they get more if they know they could spend it and use it, right?
Well, yeah, of course, if it has a lot of use, then presumably that people will want them so they can go use them in those different new ways.
Okay.
And that'd be good.
I want to go spend them. Let's see here. Crypto's freedom. Why are the BitShares wallet nodes always high latency and often disconnect? When will there be more low latency nodes, and what is the incentive to run one and the skills and the hardware needed?
That's a lot of questions. You can, go to the technical groups and ask a lot of those questions. Right now, I'm not happy with how that works. And when I get absolute power, I'll fix it. But in the meantime, it's kind of up to, what people are investing in their nodes that are running and whether they're using, good enough nodes with good enough connections. And, there needs to be some optimization there. And that is one of the things that I've put into the desirements of the new bidding is that we get the capability to put in some high-power nodes to get that latency improved. So,
and when you say
I'm going to make anything, because I don't have really that much authority, but I don't want this to impact the existing nodes because we want that grassroots component.
Okay.
But if we can get some incentives put in there to have some high-powered nodes and get more of them out there into the reachability, that'll make everybody's life a little nicer.
Well, when you say you don't have the power yet, when are you going to get the power, and how's that going to happen? What's the key to that?
Well, if I earn enough money, I turn around and reinvest it into these things we're doing.
Oh, I gotcha.
I'm spending about all the money I got with the things we're doing.
I gotcha.
But
power,
when
money, power.
If I get any growth going, then that'll enable us to take on some of those improvements. But my general thought process is also make money so you can reinvest it and grow money.
Right,
and
right.
Kind of focused in this whole ecosystem to do that.
Okay. What do this is Ryan Olson, what are the next 6 months looking like for bitshares? Any cool events to look forward to? Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've been kind of talking
about those.
That's going to have probably in that amount of time, that extends into this summer, doesn't it? So I've been promising things for 3 this summers. And we got another this summer coming, and a lot of the things that should have come out in January, I would hope, will be coming out during that time frame. Plus, you'll see a lot of other variants of the Quint start to get introduced. You'll see all the exciting stuff that's happening in Bitcoin Latina, and you're going to see whatever is done with BitEOS. And all of that is going to be percolating from now through the end of the summer. That'll be an interesting thing to watch.
And a lot of other things that he can't say right now. And he's also working to put together. So what's BitShares Con, the newest annual event?
Haven't heard about that one. See, I'm not all knowing.
Or it's either one that's happening or maybe he's wanting to have one, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, if he's saying when are we going to have one?
I'm not sure. I'm just reading BitShares Con, the newest annual event. So I think maybe that's his idea. Sounds cool.
Okay. Well,
sounds fun.
Yeah, I love the idea of having some of those. Yeah.
Sounds good. Any chance of EOS being traded exclusively on BitShares, or is this just a dream?
It's just a dream.
Let's see. What is this? Killer Keith. QuintX BTS is not QuintX, QuintX. So let me tell you how it's written out. QuintX BTS is not QuintX, QuintX.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I was surprised that the first thing out there trading would be that product, because I don't think that product is something that is ready to trade, that's got some constraints on how it can be done. So somebody's created something that's a surrogate or a fake, maybe. I don't know.
It just happens everywhere, doesn't it?
Yep, you got to be careful. On the Telegram right now, there are all of the famous people in the Telegram have shadowy other figures have changed one letter in their name, and trying to impersonate them and stuff, and it's got to be very irritating.
Holy cow, that's terrible. That's no good for people like me that don't realize that we don't think that way. We don't think someone's constantly going to hack us or try to cheat us out of something. You guys, by the way, in all the computer world. You all are so super concerned about this hacking stuff like crazy. I've never heard so much about it. Hey, the email you go to is Proton mail, and like you just saying now, watch out there, look at the exact name, make sure there's not another letter or a little dot or something in there, somebody impersonating them. People like me, we don't even think that way, and we're the ones trying to really get into this, and that's what I'm working to do, is to help other people just like me get into this and learn it, and this new great way of income. But we don't think of those little tiny things that you guys really, besides making everything work the way you are making it work, you guys got to really think about the new generation coming in. I don't mean generation age-wise, but the new generation of people buying, new clients that are like us, because we're going to freak out and blame it on you guys, right? People like us, we're going to go, why didn't you make it safer for me? Kind of thing. Are you all
well, yeah, that's what the Hyperion Hub I'm talking about is aimed at doing. That's what the BillionHeroCampaign.com is focused to put some gamified training in place. And we're still working on that and building it, and it's getting better all the time.
But the safety and security too, though, not just learning it, but the safety, the security factors too, right?
Yeah, and there's a never-ending arms race with the criminals. What do you do about you launch BitShares and somebody goes and grabs the Poloniex name for their wallet? So Poloniex comes around and it's already taken, so they call their name Poloniex Wallet. And now this person with the Poloniex name has people making mistakes thinking they're sending it to Poloniex, and he's stealing all their money.
Right.
Okay? There's all kinds of little dirty tricks going on out there.
Well, like Facebook and YouTube and some of the other ones, they have a little verification check that you can only get, after it has been completely verified. And of course, there are ways that people have faked those as well. But maybe something like that to where we know it's the real deal. There's got to be something like that.
Yeah, and there's more and more of those kind of things that people are looking at, and we'll just have to keep working at it. It's a never-ending battle.
Right. One of the cool things that Jared was talking about with Arise Bank, Jared was talking about a blockchain phone that was extremely safe from anybody trying to hack and get into your business there. Because he said phones now, where people will do some of their transaction trading, he said they're not fit for that security. And
no.
What minds you guys have to do this kind of stuff? What's the name of this is Income Mobile. What's the name of the company he mentioned earlier regarding crypto, something with Michael Taggart? Oh, who knows what? I think you were talking about Quint with Michael.
Well, Michael Taggart is president of Cryptonomics, the company that originally developed BitShares 2.0. So that was probably the context it was mentioned. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's it. Yeah. What's the name of Michael's business, and Stan is a part of that? Yeah. Okay. I think we're doing pretty good here. That's right, Crypto Connie. BitShares Coin would be a cool annual event like Berkshire Hathaway event. And then Stephen Charles said, Connie, you rock. I like that. Thank you. And you too, Stan. Said you too, Stan.
In a few years, we'll fly everybody down to BitShares Island. It's just a matter of time.
That would be so, oh my gosh. Oh, where's BitShares Island? Is that Puerto Rico?
Oh, we have to build it yet.
You got to get your own island. You got to get your own island. There's tons of them, right?
You could go find one that God made, but I'm thinking, as long as we're making BitShares as big as it could be, we might as well raise Atlantis and renovate it or something.
Awesome. Blue Rocker place to go. But if you're just tuning in, this is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis and the godfather of BitShares, Stan Larimer. We've been asking or answering your questions, so we appreciate those of you that have come in here and asked those, and support as well. Really appreciate that. So I got most of the links down below if you need any help when it comes to BitShares. And you mentioned another one, Stan, that I got to put down in there. And you'll tell me that one later, I hope, and I will add it.
That's Xerox Wiki. I forget the exact name of it, but somebody will probably type it in there that's watching.
Okay, we'll get that and add that. Penny wants to say hello and thank those of you that are here. There's just so much going on, and all the teasing that you're doing. There's nothing else we can say. It's kind of like, I do want to tell you what I'm doing this weekend. While you're going to be out and about, and we'll do something breaking from where you are. I will be taking a class, of course, this weekend with Lori Williams, which is a remote viewing class that the military, she teaches what the military learned with remote viewing back in the old top secret program of Project Stargate. So I'm in the intermediate class this weekend. Also, though, I'll be on Coast to Coast on Saturday night. And it's really cool. My second feature guest is going to be Andrew D. Basiago. And he is a claimed time traveler. And he's part of the Project Pegasus. So that's very interesting. I'm looking forward to learning all about that. But my first guests, I got two of them in the crypto world. And one is Sean Worthington, going to talk about the cloud coin. Okay, so I'm finally getting some of these people on that I've talked to along the way. And also Jonathan Bahai with Peer Play and Bookie. So you would introduce me to Jonathan.
Yeah, he's a cool dude and lives in a bunker.
Yeah, he lives in a bunker, and I meant to put that in my little description of him. Lives in a freaking bunker. That's so cool. Well, he had said too. He said, "Well, I could get this blockchain. He could put his blockchain in there and keeps it cool."
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. How big are some of these blockchains? And do they continue to just add on more? Is that what you do?
Oh, yeah. bitshares is the biggest blockchain out there right now.
That's why it can go so fast?
Well, because it goes so fast, it's gotten bigger than Bitcoin.
I love it. I love it. What? So I guess in the beginning, when this all started, and mining was a part of it, right? Because that's what is slowing things down and causing problems, right? That's why you guys have outlawed it. So it was kind of like, okay, here's the first one, and a lot of times people just copy that and copy, whatever's working. However, you guys looked at it and said, we like that. This is cool. Cool stuff. But this isn't good, and this isn't good, and we can make this better, and this better, and this better. That's what you guys did.
Yeah, that's what Dan did, thinking outside the box. Yeah.
That's cool. He's a problem solver. Was he a problem solver as a kid? Did he?
He was a problem causer.
Oh, really? Well, you're Pappy there. Exactly. Well, who's the cook in the family? You or your wife?
Oh, my wife.
Okay, so
when she goes away, I get the kitchen to myself, and I can make Spam and macaroni and cheese.
Hey, that's great. That stuff's good. I like that. I wouldn't fight you on that. I'd be fighting you for, eating that with you. I enjoy that. So, well, I guess I'm just thinking, as a child, did he kind of learn from you guys to problem solve like that and observe, or did he do it to you all and bug you all to death?
Yeah, some of both. I mean, I do have a picture of him sitting in my lap when he was 2 years old, pounding on a TRS-80 Model 1 keyboard. And when he was 12, he was programming his own video games on a Mac 2. And so, he quickly became self-taught.
That's really cool. He was certainly blessed with that. Now that we started talking about him, there's a question: where did Dan learn computers?
Yours truly. No, I started out with a Mac 2. I mean, when he was 2 years old, I didn't teach him much, but I set up a little program where I did all the complicated stuff of setting up a Macintosh interactive program, opened up a little window, and then I said, here is the block of code that draws into that window. And then he would write the code in there with the rest of the program already going, and he was making little spaceship things fly around and stuff. And, then he just took off from there and figured out what the rest of the code did over time.
Well, I think it's cool. I feel blessed to know you. I haven't met him yet, but hopefully we'll do that in the future. But at some sort of neat little BitShares con, like they've said, big event going on, and we're all outside, maybe on your farm. Forget being in Vegas. Go on your farm.
This here's Woodstock.
There, awesome. And there's corn on the cob, and there's ribs, and we can also do rib eyes.
Yeah, and a little sarsaparilla. You got to have some of that.
Okay, all right. And what's the stuff you got behind you?
A little white lightning.
Oh, there you go. My Kentucky friends, we'll bring that. That'll be fun.
Pure stuff right here.
I dare you to take a swig. I dare you to take a swig and light the fire when you blow out.
Tim.
Well, Stan, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate that. We will break in with you this weekend, okay, while you're at your Media Conscious event.
That sounds good.
In Austin?
Conscious Media.
Are you close to Jared? Keep in touch with Jared. Let us know, because Austin, he's in Dallas, right? So Dallas, Texas is a big state.
I'm not sure where he is right now. But, if I hear anything, I'll be certain that I'm allowed to talk about it. I'll be sure to share it with you.
Okay. We appreciate that. So, Stan Larimer, everybody. They're all saying thank you. You're awesome. You're wonderful. And BitShares Con 2019. I say 2018. Come on. Why wait? Stan, thank you very much for being with us.
Sure thing.
All right. We've got, again, Blue Rockers, thank you for being here with us. Let me take a few things off here right now. I want to keep that on there. There we go. All righty. Thank you guys for being here with me again. That was Stan Larimer, the godfather of BitShares. You can go check him out on STEEM or STEEMit.com as well, where he has his articles at Stan. You can take a look at the links down below, and you'll find out where you can find him. And all the problem solving with BitShares is down below. And you can also get a wallet. If you haven't, just look down below, and it says this is where you get a wallet. You're going to see my name on there, but that's all you do is click on mine, and then it'll take you there. All right, and try to, while it's low, become a lifetime member. You're going to like that. It's got all sorts of benefits. Next time we'll ask him about that, because he's already whisked away out there in internet world. So again, this weekend, join me on Coast to Coast. I'll be on Saturday night, and we'll be talking with Sean Worthington of the Cloud Coin, which he has a coin that's in the clouds. Perfect currency, he calls that. And also Jonathan Bahai with Peer Plays and the sport. He's known for betting on the blockchain, so we're going to ask him all about that. How is that legal? Is it legal? How's it working for him? How is Bookie coming along, which is sports betting? And if you need to know anything else about either of those two guys, then put it in the search here of Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis, because I've got them. I've interviewed them a couple times, so you can get some more information. So Coast to Coast this weekend as well, the time traveler, Andrew D. Basiago. And again, you're right. Somebody had mentioned that he was running for president. That's right. So, well, you know what? You can call in and ask about that on Saturday night on Coast to Coast. So, Blue Rockers, thanks for joining me. Always good to have some fun here. And I'm going to think about Blue Rock Talk. Will we have Bigfoot Friday this weekend? Bigfoot Friday. I don't know. It's going to be a busy weekend. I don't know. But you guys, thank you for sticking around. And we will be talking to you soon enough. Go Blue Rockers. Be sure to hit subscribe while you are here, and also hit the like button. I would appreciate that very much. Thanks those of you that are here with me, and I'm just trying to get out of this one for you guys. All righty.